Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
So we are starting with our next unit. In your syllabus, or according to your textbook, this is the third unit in your syllabus, joint ventures. So again, you will have 2 15 marks questions from this unit and maybe 2 or 3 4 marks questions as well. And this joint ventures is similar to your consignment. So before we go into the depth of joint ventures, I would first like to know, what do you mean by partnership? All of you have already studied about sole trader, partnership, all this in your business organization, right? So tell me, what do you mean by a partnership? Yes, what do you mean by partnership business?
It's an association between two or more people who want to carry on a business and like share the profits and losses as per their like desired ratio.
Okay, so you told me that it's a agreement between 2 or more people who want to carry on the business together and share the profits and losses. Okay, very good. So what is the advantage of being in a partnership business?
Sharing of profits and losses.
Sharing of burden.
You should say only sharing of losses, right? Sharing of profits is not an advantage.
Yeah, I'm bearing the
It is a
losses.
disadvantage. Sharing of losses. Another any major advantage of being in partnership?
You can invest like more capital since more people are involved in the
Yes.
business.
Capital can be more, because here instead of one person, 2 or 3 people would be investing the amount. So the amount of capital can be more. Similarly, you can have more people to manage your firm. You can have experts there. So all those are the advantages of a partnership business. So coming to joint ventures is also a form of partnership business. Yes, someone was saying something? Was someone asking something? Okay, so joint ventures is also a type of partnership business only. It's exactly similar to that. Here also there'll be either 2 or more than 2 people who come together to do a business, and they will invest the capital, and again, according to their agreement, they'll share their profits and losses. Then what is the difference between a joint venture and partnership? The difference here is joint venture is a temporary business. It is a temporary type of partnership. That means here the people are in partnership only as long as the venture continues. So here for the business, we call it as a venture. So they might come together to do a specific venture. And once that venture is completed, their partnership is closed. So that is the reason we call joint venture as a temporary partnership. But in case of a normal partnership business, what happens? The 2 people come together and then they're doing the business, and they assume that their business will run forever, right? We have that going concern concept. So according to that, they assume that business will run for a never-ending lifetime, and they, with that aim in mind, they continue the business. But here, these people come together only for a specific venture, a specific business, which is called as a venture here. So they come together, they pool their capitals, they do the business, they share their profits, losses, and then close the venture. So their partnership is closed immediately, the venture is completed. For example, they come to 2 or 3 people come together to construct a building. So maybe the construction, their business is construction of the building. The venture is construction of the building. So to construct that building, they have come together. They pool their investments and start the construction. The construction might take maybe 6 months, 8 months, or maybe a year. So till that time, it is called as a joint venture business, and they are in partnership. Once the building is constructed and they have sold it out, or they have handed it over to whomever, like whoever work they were doing, their venture is closed. So then the joint venture comes to an end as soon as the work is done. So that is the major reason joint venture is called as a temporary partnership. It is similar to partnership, but the major difference is it is a temporary partnership. It does not exist for lifetime. It is closed as soon as the venture is completed. And the people who are involved in the joint venture, who are joining the venture to do the work together, they are called as co-venturers. So what do you call the people in the partnership business? Yes, anyone? What do we call the people in the partnership business?
Partners.
They are called as partners, right? So here we call them as co-venturers. Venture is the business which they are into, and the people who are joining that venture, they are called as co-venturers, right? So we will look into the details for joint ventures today, and we'll see how we need to do the accounting process in case of a joint venture, right? So these are the outcomes of our session. The meaning, the features, we will know the differences between a joint venture and a partnership, also the differences between a joint venture and the consignment, and then we will look at the methods of maintaining accounts for a joint venture. So first we look into the meaning. So whatever we discussed just now, the same thing will be put up there. Just have a reading quickly. When two or more persons join together to carry out a specific business venture and share the profits on an agreed basis, it is called a joint venture. So if you look at it is almost similar to the definition of partnership. Here we are only mentioning the term specific business venture because this partnership is only for that specific business. As soon as that specific venture is completed, the partnership is also closed. So when two or more people join together to carry out a specific business venture and share the profits and losses at an agreed basis, that is called a joint venture. And the joint venture is kind of a temporary partnership between two or more people who have agreed to jointly carry out a specific venture. And then as we discussed, each one of them who join as a party to the joint venture is called as a co-venturer. Each person is called as a co-venturer, and their liabilities are limited to the project or activity concerned for which they agree to contribute capital and share the profits or losses. This sentence means to say that their liability will be limited only till the aspect of that venture. So if there is any loss in the venture, people cannot come and take away their personal properties. Their liability is limited only to the aspect of that particular business or particular activity for which they are coming together and sharing their profits and losses. The joint ventures are quite common. So these are the examples where all the joint venture business exists, especially in case of construction business, in case of consignment business. In case of consignment, there's a principal and an agent, right? So here what happens, two or three people, they come together and they run this consignment business. So in case of consignment business, in case of sale and purchase of property, underwriting of shares and debentures, etc. So majorly in such kind of business, joint venture is more popular. So for example, if we assume there are three people, X, Y, and Z. So all three of them come together and they say that they will do a consignment, they will form a joint venture and they want to run a consignment business. That means one person will be sending the goods and other two of them will be selling the goods. So like that, they come into a venture. So once the goods have all been sold, their venture is closed. Sometimes people come together for the construction of buildings, construction of houses and all. Again, that is also a joint venture. Sometimes people come together and take up the job of underwriting of shares of the companies. So like that, when two or three people, two or more than two are coming together to perform a specific venture, we call it as a joint venture. So we will move ahead. This is a definition given by the accounting standards. As per the accounting standard, a joint venture is a contractual arrangement whereby two or more parties undertake an economic activity which is subject to joint control. So remember the last word here, which is subject to joint control. That means the entire joint venture is in the control of all the people, whoever have joined there, joint control. It is a contractual agreement where two or more parties undertake an economic activity. And we all know that business is an economic activity, right? And it is subject to joint control. Further, joint control is defined as contractually agreed sharing of control over the economic activity. So he's also specifying what joint control means here. It is whatever they have agreed. So in case the co-venturers have agreed that, okay, one person will carry on the entire control, then it is okay. It is based on the contractually agreed sharing of control over the economic activity. So whatever they have discussed and how they have agreed, according to that, the control will be based. So they might decide that all of them will control the business. They might decide that only one person will control the business. So it's up to them. And please remember, this entire joint venture business also is dependent on mutual trust and faith. Because here 2 or more people are coming together and doing the business. So they need to have faith and they need to trust each other. Only then the business can run. So we will move forward and look into the features of a joint venture. Again, features will be all those things which we have just discussed. We are just putting it into lines, into points. So if you see, it is a specific duration, special purpose partnership. So just lay emphasis on the first line. It is a specific duration, special purpose partnership. So that means it's not a normal partnership. It is a special purpose partnership, because here the partnership has been formed for a specific business and for a specific duration. Like if it is construction, it might be for a year. If it is consignment business, it might be for just for a few months. So for specific duration, and it is also a special type of partnership, wherein the partnership is closed as soon as the venture is completed. So 2 or more parties coming together for a specific purpose and are bound by an agreement. Parties in the venture are called as co-venturers. So each person is called as a co-venturer. Together they are called as co-venturers. And the agreement between co-venturer establishes the joint control. The joint venture may or may not have a specific name. So either the venture might have a specific name, it might not have. So if it doesn't have a specific name, it will be called by the name of the co-venturers. So people will say, okay, it is X and Y's venture, or it is Ram and Sham's venture. So it might be called by the name of the co-venturers, or sometimes it has a specific name as well. Joint ventures may also be created in the form of a company where the co-venturers contribute to its share capital. So this joint venture can also be formed in a company form, but the shares are not to be subscribed by the general public. The share, all the co-venturers will contribute to the share capital of the company. Co-venturers may contribute funds for running the venture or supply inventories from their regular business. Now, what does this line mean? So as I told you, we'll take the example of X and Y. X and Y have come together to construct a building. So their venture is construction of the building, and both of them have their own different businesses. Okay, X has a different business, Y has a different business. So their regular business will not come to a halt. They will continue with their regular business. At the same time, they have come together to construct a building in a joint venture. So what happens? They might contribute capital for this venture. Along with capital, they might also contribute inventories from their regular business. Now, what do you mean by inventories here? What is the general meaning of inventory?
Stock, ma'am.
Stock, correct. So maybe they have the similar stock which is used for their venture. So they can either contribute capital, or if they have agreed, they can also contribute stock from their regular business to their common venture. That's up to them. And in no way, there is no rule that their personal businesses should stop if they are coming to a venture. That all depends on their mutual agreement. They can continue with their regular business, as well they can come together to do a common joint venture. So co-venturers share the profits or losses of the venture at an agreed ratio, likewise partnership. That means similar to partnership, here also the co-venturers will share their profits and losses in an agreed ratio. When we say agreed ratio, that means it is a collective decision of all the co-venturers. The ratio might be 2:3, 3:1, or 50%, anything. And if nothing is mentioned about the ratio, what do we do? In case of partnership also, if nothing is mentioned about the ratio, what do we assume?
It's the equal profit sharing.
Yes, we always assume that it is shared equally. So same thing in case of joint venture also. They have to mutually come to a consensus. If nothing is mentioned in the agreement, it is assumed that they are sharing the profits and losses at it equally. The co-venturers are free to continue with their own business unless agreed otherwise during the life of joint venture. So this is the same point which we discussed just now. So unless they have a problem, they can continue with their own regular business as well. If there is they need to come to a mutual consensus for that. If one of the co-venturer is having a problem with that, then they'll have to discuss that and then come to a conclusion. Otherwise, they are free to carry on their regular business during the lifetime of the common joint venture as well. Joint venture terminates on completion of the purpose for which it was created. So as I told you, the venture is closed immediately as soon as the business is completed. So if they're coming together for the consignment business, once the consignment process is done, once the goods are sold and the money is paid back, the joint venture will be closed. If they are coming together for the construction purpose, once the construction is done, they will share the profits and then the venture is closed. Generally, the profit or loss of the venture is computed on completion of the venture. However, for a joint venture which is expected to run for a long period, the profit or loss is computed annually. In case of partnership, when do we calculate the profits or losses in the business? In case of a running partnership business, when do we calculate the profits or losses of the business?
At the end of the year?
Annually, ma'am?
At the end of the year, that is annually. So every year at the end of the year, we calculate the profits or losses. In case of joint venture, as we are quoting it, that it is a temporary partnership. So as soon as the venture is completed, then the profits and losses are calculated usually. That means if the venture is being closed within a year, then whenever the venture is completed, they calculate the profits or losses from that venture. But sometimes, like in construction business, the venture might continue for 2 or 3 years also. If it's a huge apartment, it might continue for 3 years, it might continue for 4 years. So if it is a venture which is run for a long period, then the profits or losses will be calculated annually. Otherwise, if it's a venture for a small or short period, then the profits or losses of the venture will be calculated as soon as the venture is completed. Are we clear with the features? Yes, anyone has a doubt in this? Yes or no? If there are no doubts, we will move ahead. Yes, tell me quickly, are you all understanding?
Ma'am, could you explain the last two again?
Last one?
The last two, ma'am.
Last two. So joint venture terminates on completion of purpose for which it was created. So once the business is over, the venture will be closed. So that's why they have given the joint venture terminates. That means it is closed now. If the construction business is completed, our venture is also closed. The people are no more the co-venturers now. So they share the profits and losses, they close all the accounts and the venture is totally put to a halt. It is closed. Coming to the last point, calculation of profit or loss in the joint venture business. So if the venture is for a short duration, the profits or losses will be calculated at the end of the venture. That means when the venture is completed. If the venture is for a long duration, that means it goes beyond 2 or 3 years, then the profits or losses from such venture will be calculated annually. So after first year, they will calculate, then after second year, then after third year, and so on. Right? So are we done with the features? So we will move ahead. Now quickly look at this slide. We have already discussed all this. We will just have a quick look into this. The differences between joint venture and partnership. So if you see, in case of joint venture, it is limited to a specific venture and it comes to an end on the completion of the venture. Whereas partnership, it is not limited to a specific venture. That means our partnership will not come to an end once this year is completed or once this part is completed. Partnership is a business which will run for our lifetime. So that is the major difference. Then people involved, the persons carrying on the business in joint venture are called as the co-venturers. In case of partnership, we call them as partners. Joint venture does not necessarily require a name. Whereas a partnership firm always has a distinct name under which it is registered. Right? Coming to the profit or loss, as we discussed, profits or losses are ascertained at the end of the specific venture or on annual basis if the venture continues for a longer time. But in case of partnership business, the profits and losses are every time calculated at the end of the year. So whether it is financial year or whether it is calendar year, and on the annual basis at the end of the year, we calculate the profits and losses. Some process of accounting books. In case of partnership, separate set of books have to be maintained. So for that partnership business, the proper accounting process is done. What happens in joint venture is, you will understand this point when we are looking at the methods of maintaining accounts. Here, either all the partners can come together, all the co-venturers can come together and maintain separate books of accounts, or sometimes what happens in joint venture is each co-venturer will maintain his set of books. So that is also possible. We will understand this point when we look at the methods. And coming to the competition part, partners generally do not involve in competing business. So in case of partnership, if they are coming together and doing a business, they will not start a competing business on their own. In case of joint venture, there is no such regulation. It depends upon the mutual consent of the co-venturers. Right? So these are the differences between a joint venture and a partnership. We will now quickly look at the differences between a joint venture and a consignment business. And please make a note, all these are important theory questions for your exam. The differences part. So we will look into the differences between joint venture and consignment. Now we all know what is a consignment business perfectly, right? So we will look into the differences. The purpose of joint venture business would be, it can be construction business, it can be investment in shares, it can be consignment business, it can be anything. Whereas the purpose of starting a consignment business is only the sale of movable goods. So generally in consignment, one person is sending goods to the other person to be sold on his behalf. So that is the main aim of consignment business, right? Persons involved in joint venture, we call them as co-venturers. In case of consignment, what do we call the persons who are involved?
Consigner and
We call them as consigner and consignee. And coming to the tenure part, in joint venture business, the tenure of the business ends as soon as the venture is completed. So once the venture is completed, the tenure comes and the relationship between the co-venturer comes to an end. And here in case of consignment, the relationship might continue for a longer period. So once they've completed, they might go on with the same consignment business for a number of times. And coming to the contribution of funds in joint venture, as we told, all the co-venturers will contribute capital. When we come to consignment, the funds are provided only by the consignor. The consignee will not invest any type of funds in the business. Profits and losses. Here in case of joint venture business, the profits and losses are shared at an agreed proportion. Whatever is agreed to all the co-venturers, accordingly, they come to a common proportion and they share the profits or losses in that ratio. But when we come to consignment business, the entire profit or loss is to be taken over only by the consignor. The consignee will get only his commission. He doesn't get a share in the profits. And ownership, joint venture belongs to the joint ownership of all the co-venturers. Consignment, only the consignor will own the goods there. Consignee is only liable to sell the goods and take his commission. Right? So coming to the relationship, when you come to relationship, all the co-venturers are, the relationship is like partners. And in case of consignment, the relationship is that of a principal and an agent. So these are the common differences between a joint venture and consignment. So now we know what is the meaning of a joint venture, what are the features. We have also looked into the differences between joint venture and partnership, as well as joint venture and consignment. So we will move forward. Now this is the most important part in the unit. So what are the methods of maintaining the joint venture accounts? So how are we supposed to maintain accounts for a joint venture business? Now, maintaining accounts, there are 3 different methods. Please listen to this carefully. We have 3 different methods to maintain accounts under a joint venture business. The first method is called as where separate set of books are maintained. That means all the co-venturers come together and they maintain a separate set of books for that particular venture. The second method is where separate set of books are not maintained, or you can also call it as where no separate set of books are separate books of accounts are maintained. Either where no separate books are maintained or where separate set of books are not maintained for the venture. That is the second method. And the third method is called as the memorandum joint venture method. So we need to be perfect with these three methods. These are the methods of maintaining joint venture accounts. Among all these three, the first one is very, very important. Where separate set of books are maintained is the first method. Where separate set of books are not maintained is the second one. Memorandum joint venture method is the third one. So for now, we will start with the first method. We will look into the accounting process of the first method and we will try to solve problems with the first method. Then we will go ahead with the second and the third method, right? So first we look the accounting process of all the methods. Then we will start solving problems according to each method one by one. So first, when separate set of books are maintained. So first thing that comes into our mind is, when is this method followed? So this method of maintaining accounts is followed when the venture is sufficiently huge. That means it is fairly big or fairly large and all the co-venturers are staying at the same place. When I say same place, it might mean the same city or the state, right? So here what happens, the size of the venture is fairly large. All co-venturers are staying at the same place. So all of them come together and they maintain a separate set of books for that particular venture. So here the joint venture will be considered as a separate entity for the purpose of accounting, and hence its transactions are recorded separately from their regular business activities. So if X and Y have come into a common business, right? Just give me a second. Yes, so we'll get back. As I told you, so here the venture will be called as a separate business entity. If you remember our business entity concept, we need to keep the business separate from the owners. So same thing, all the co-venturers will come together and they will maintain a separate set of books only for that venture. Other than that, their regular businesses, they will have separate accounts. They will maintain separate books of accounts for their regular business. Their personal transactions, everything will be done in their other their personal books. Here, these books are maintained only for the purpose of that venture. And this method is similar to partnership agreement being entered into by the partners of a firm. So now this is called as the method where separate set of books are maintained, right? So if we are following these methods, this method of accounting, so what is the process of accounting? As soon as a transaction takes place, we write the journal entries. From the journals, we prepare the ledger accounts. And there are three major ledger accounts which are prepared. Yes.
Could you show the previous slide once?
This one?
Yeah, ma'am, just a minute.
Yeah. So this is the method where we are maintaining separate set of books for that particular venture.
Yeah, ma'am, done.
And under this method, the major accounts which the co-venturers come together and open are these three. The first one is called as the joint venture account. Second one is called as the joint bank account. And the third one is called as the personal accounts of the co-venturers. Or you call it as co-venturers accounts. So please remember, we are looking at the first method, that is where separate set of books are maintained. So that means each one is not maintaining the account. They are all coming together, maintaining the separate set of books for this venture. And their own personal businesses will have different books of accounts, right? So under this method, as usual, they'll write the journal entries. Same double entry principle is followed. And then these three are the major accounts which are maintained for the purpose of the venture. Now, what does each account specify? I'll explain that and you will have to listen to that very, very carefully. Because for our problems, you need this, right? So we are maintaining three accounts. first one is the joint venture account. Second one is the joint bank account. And the third one is the personal accounts of the co-venturers. So first I'll tell you how does the business happen in this case of this method. What happens here is all the co-venturers will pool their capital. Okay. So whatever is their initial investments, for example, we are assuming A, B, and C are three co-venturers. They have come together to do a joint venture business and they are pooling their capitals. So whatever is the initial investment or capitals which they are pooling up, they will open a joint bank account of all the three co-venturers and they will deposit the money in that account. Right? So they'll open a joint bank account that is compulsory for this method. They'll open a joint bank account and they will deposit all the money in that, their investments in that account. And then whatever are the expenses of the venture, that will be incurred from this joint bank account. All the expenses will be spent from the amount which is there in the joint bank account. Similarly, all the incomes for the business will be credited to the joint bank account. So that means if they are coming together for sale of goods, once the goods are sold, the entire amount what they receive is again deposited into the joint bank account and all the expenses from there are spent. At the end, the partners will distribute the profits, whatever belongs, the co-venturers will distribute the profits and the joint bank account is closed. Once the joint bank account is closed, it means the venture has been closed and the relationship comes to an end. Right? So did you understand? They will pool up their initial investments. They will open a joint bank account. They will deposit all their investments in the joint bank account. All expenses relating to the venture will be spent out of the joint bank account. All incomes will be credited to the joint bank account. And then whatever is the net result of the joint bank account, the amount will be shared between the partners. And finally, the joint bank account will be closed. Right? So now we look into what each account, how do we maintain these accounts? This is the process which I explained. So first coming to the joint venture account. Now this joint venture account is a nominal account. So what is the rule of a nominal account? Yes, what is
Debit expenses and losses, credit incomes and
correct? Debit all expenses and losses and credit all the incomes and gains. Right? So according to the same rule, we will prepare the nominal account, that is the joint venture account. So if you remember your consignment was also a nominal account. What were we doing in case of consignment? All the expenses relating to the consignment were debited. All incomes of the closing stock relating to the consignment was credited. Right? Yes, did we do like that? In the consignment, we were doing that, right? If you remember, all expenses and losses relating to the consignment were debited to the consignment account. And all the incomes and closing stock, if any, were credited to the consignment account. So the same process we will follow here in case of a joint venture account. The joint venture account will be debited with all the expenses and losses relating to the venture. Similarly, it will be credited with all the incomes and closing stock relating to the venture. And the net result between the debit and credit side will be called as the profit or loss. So if our incomes are more than the expenses, it is profit. Whereas if our expenses are more than the incomes, it will be a loss. And that profit or loss will be shared between the co-venturers at the agreed ratio. So is the joint venture account clear to everyone? Yes or no? Is the joint venture account clear? I'm waiting for an answer.
Yes, ma'am.
Right? All expenses debited, all the income credited, find the difference. Whatever is the difference is either the profit or loss, share that profit or loss between the co-venturers. So your first account is done. Now coming to the second account, that is the personal accounts of the co-venturers. So once you have calculated the profit, then you will prepare the co-venturers' personal accounts. So what is the rule for the personal accounts? Is it debit what comes in? Personal
debit the receiver, credit the giver.
Yes, it is debit the receiver and credit the giver. So when we prepare the personal accounts will first be credited with the initial investment. So in case of personal account, for example, if you're preparing X account, so whatever is his investment, it will be credited. Whatever is his share of profit, that will be credited. If he has a loss, then that amount will be debited. So you don't have to prepare a personal account. So all transactions relating to that particular person will be transferred to the personal account, and then the account will be closed. Then finally, we come to the joint bank account. Now, this joint bank account is exactly similar to our cash book. So what rule do we follow when we prepare a cash book?
Debit what comes in, credit what goes out.
Yes, debit what comes in, credit what goes out, because cash book is a real account. So what do we do? Whenever there is a receipt of cash, you debit it. Whenever there's a payment of cash, you credit it, right? So your joint bank account is also similar to your cash account or the cash book. So whenever funds are coming into the business, you will debit the joint bank account. Whenever funds are moving out, that means whenever there's a payment, you will credit the joint bank account. So now tell me, if the partners are investing the capital, on which side of joint bank account will you take the amount? When the co-venturers are investing capital, which side of joint bank account will you take that entry? Tell me quickly. Does it mean funds are coming in, or does it mean funds are going out?
Ma'am, can you repeat what you just asked?
I said when the co-venturers are investing capital into the business, which side of the joint bank account will you take this transaction?
Debit.
Debit side.
Debit side, because funds are coming into the business. So remember, joint bank account, prepare it exactly on the same lines as you do a cash account. If funds are coming into the business, debit it. If funds are moving out of the business, credit it. And this joint bank account will always be maintained by all the co-venturers jointly. Right? So are we clear with all the three ledger accounts? So that
Yes,
means
ma'am.
as soon as we see a question, we can write the journal entries and then we can prepare these three ledger accounts.
Ma'am, can you
Otherwise-
once again explain how we do venture account, ma'am? Joint venture account?
Joint venture account. Joint venture account is exactly similar to your consignment account. All the expenses and losses relating to that venture will be debited. All incomes and gains relating to that venture will be credited. The
So it's
net
a nominal account.
Yes, it's a nominal account. And the net result of that venture account will be your profit or loss, which is shared between the co-venturers. Exactly the same pro forma as you did consignment account. Same way you have to do the joint venture account. Right? So we have looked into the three types of accounts. So as soon as we see the question, we'll be able to prepare the ledger accounts and write the journal entries. That is our task in this unit. Okay, this is the first method. Remember that. And let's quickly have a look at the pro formas of the accounts. Now, why do I want to show you the pro formas? I'll explain you that. First, see the joint venture account. Can you see the joint venture account on the screen? See, as I told you, what happens in the joint venture is the co-venturers are pooling up their capital and depositing it in the joint bank account, and they are spending, they are incurring all expenses from the joint bank account. But sometimes what happens, as I discussed, the co-venturers can also supply some stock from their personal business to this venture, right? They can supply stock. Sometimes the co-venturers are personally spending some expenses. Like for example, there was a transport to be made and A has paid the transport charges. Then the transport is not going from the joint bank account, right? So what you do in the joint venture account is, I told you all expenses and losses will come to the debit side. So if the expenses are from the joint bank account, you will write to joint bank account. If the expenses or the material is supplied by one of the co-venturer, you will write it as to co-venturers account. That means if X is spending, you will write 2X. If Y is spending, you will write 2Y. But if they are spending joint bank, you will write to joint bank. Right? Are we clear? Similarly, coming to the sales. After making the sale, if the amount is deposited back in the joint bank account, you will write the entry as by joint bank. Sometimes what happens, X is making the sale and he's taking the amount. Then you will write the entry as by X. And coming to the leftover part of the closing stock. So if closing stock, for example, they were into a construction business. After the business is completed, there was some machinery which was left over. So what do? They sell that machinery and get some amount. So if the machinery is sold in common, that amount will be deposited in the joint bank account. So that you will write on the credit side as by joint bank. Sometimes what happens, A will say that no, I will take away this machinery and I will pay 10,000 for this. So if A is taking away the machinery, then you will write the entry as by A. So that is the only thing that you have to remember when you're preparing the joint venture account. That means you need to see the question, who is spending it or who is receiving it, you need to see that. If it is done from the common joint bank account, you will debit or credit the joint bank. But if one of the co-venturers are doing it, you will naturally debit or credit the co-venturers account. It is simple writing of journal entries. You need to be careful with the transaction to write the entries.
Ma'am,
Yes,
ma'am, in the joint venture account, do we need to like divide the profit or the loss as per the
Yes,
ratio and write it
yes.
separately also?
yes. Like in consignment, you are getting profit at the end. Similarly, you will get the profit here. Immediately, this profit here itself will be divided between the co-venturers according to their ratio.
Okay.
Right? Yeah. So that is the joint venture account. Now have a look at the joint bank account. See how the joint bank account is starting. It will start with the cash introduced by the co-venturers. That means the initial investment by the co-venturers. And then if they are getting any amount collected from the debtors, that means if they have made a credit sale and the debtors are paying them the amount. So all that is coming here on the debit side. If they have made any, say, cash sales also, they are taking it on the debit side. So as I told you, wherever the money is coming in, that will be debited. Wherever money is going out of the joint bank account, it will be credited. So if payment is made to the creditors, if there are any expenses, so all that will be credited. Right? So if the expenses are done from the joint bank account, credit will be given to by joint venture. If, and then finally this account will be closed by making the final payments to the co-venturers. So how that final payment and all is made, that I'll explain you when we do the problems. Look at the third account. That is the co-venturers personal account. So if there are 3 co-venturers, you will prepare each of their accounts separately. If there are 2 co-venturers, you will prepare each of their accounts separately again, right? So co-venturers account, it first starts with how much was the cash invested by them on the credit side. If they have supplied any goods, that will also come on the credit side. If they get their profits, even that will come on the credit side. And then if they have taken over some leftover goods by paying some amount, then that will come on the credit side. So when we are doing the problems, you will understand this. Don't worry about this part. I just wanted to show you the pro forma, how the accounts appear. So as soon as you see the question, first you need to prepare the joint venture account. Once the profits are calculated, then you will prepare the co-venturers account. And then finally, you will prepare the joint bank account. And at the end, your joint bank account, their receipts should be equal to payments. Then only your joint bank account will tally and it will be closed. So if receipts are more or if payments are less, then it means you have made some error somewhere. Whatever are your receipts, finally your payments should be equal to that, because in the joint bank account, you are making the final payments to the co-venturers also. So you will give what each one deserves and then you will close the accounts. So that is how we do the accounts under the first method. Are we clear with the first method? When, and remember the name of this method, when separate set of books are maintained. That means all co-venturers are coming together and they are maintaining the common books for this venture. Right? Separately, they are maintaining. They will not mix their transactions. Neither will each one maintain separate accounts. They are coming together. Separate set of books are maintained for the venture by maintaining these 3 accounts. Right? So now we'll move forward to the next method. We'll just see the theory part of all the three methods and then we will start with the problems tomorrow. So see the second method. The second method says when separate set of books are not maintained. So here what happens? The co-venturers are not residing at the same place. I mean the same city or same state. So that means they cannot keep coming together very often and they cannot maintain a separate set of books. So here what they do is, for example, if there are three co-venturers, they decide among themselves that maybe X, Y, and Z are the co-venturers. So in our business, only X will maintain the books of accounts. So they decide mutually. So either one person will maintain the books of accounts, that is one method, or otherwise they decide that all of them will maintain the books of accounts. That means X will maintain his books of accounts, Y will maintain his books of accounts, Z will maintain his books of accounts. So if they are maintaining like that, then we say that when separate set of books are not maintained, that means they are not maintaining a separate common books. Each one is maintaining their books of accounts, or they might mutually discuss that only one person from all of them will maintain the books of accounts. So in that case, what do? They do not have anything called joint bank account here, because they are not pooling up their investments in a common account. They will pool up their investments, no doubt, but they do not open anything called a joint bank account. So whenever you see in the question the term joint bank, it is implied meaning that that is the first method. So in the question, he will not tell you to maintain accounts according to which method. You have to identify. If the term joint bank is given, it is an implied meaning that it is the first method. If joint bank is not mentioned, then it's an implied meaning that it is the second method. So what is this method? We'll see quickly. The co-venturers may decide not to keep separate books of accounts for the venture if it is for a very short period. In this case, all co-venturers will have accounts for the transactions in their own books. No joint account is opened and the co-venturers do not contribute in cash. Goods are supplied by them from out of their stocks and expenses for the venture are also settled the same way. So here what happens? Each one will bring some goods from their stock. Each one will incur certain expenses. They will run the business and finally they will make final payments to each other and close the venture. So there is no question of joint bank account here. So what they do, they maintain only two accounts here. One is the joint venture account and the second one is the co-venturers' personal accounts. So each co-venturer will prepare a joint venture account and the other co-venturers' accounts in his books. So for example, if X is preparing, what he will do? He will prepare the joint venture account and he will prepare Y and Z's accounts in his books because he needs to know how much have they spent or how much have they received. Similarly, Y will prepare the joint venture account again and he will prepare X and Z's accounts. Right? So like that, if all co-venturers are preparing, they will do it like that. But if only one of the co-venturers is preparing, then he will prepare all the co-venturers accounts along with the joint venture account. Right? And here what happens? The profit or loss is separately calculated by each co-venturer. So every co-venturer will calculate the profit or loss because each one of them is maintaining the books. It is not like the first method, right? Wherein they are coming together and they are maintaining the common books of accounts. It's not like that. Here, every person is maintaining the books. So each one will calculate the profit or loss. It is actually a repetition process. Each co-venturer will take into account all transactions done by himself and by his co-venturer as well. So he will consider whatever he has spent, whatever the others have spent, what is the final profit, how is the final profit divided. So that is called as the second method. So he'll be careful about whatever he's spending as well as whatever the others are spending also, because then only he will come to know the correct picture of profit or loss. Right? So that is called as the second method, which states when separate set of books are not maintained. Now we'll move ahead. This is the last method, and this method has the least importance. Generally, when the people are in joint venture, most of the businesses follow either the first method or the second method. This method is followed by very, very few people. So this is called as the memorandum joint venture method. So we'll see what happens here. When all parties keep the accounts, the methods adopted for recording the transactions relating to the joint venture is called as memorandum joint venture method. Here, the co-venturer records only those joint venture transactions which are affected by him with the help of the personal account designed as joint venture with X account or with Y account. So what he means to say here is, here what happens, if there are three co-venturers X, Y, and Z, each one will maintain their books of accounts. So what X will do is, he will maintain a joint venture account, and how the name of the account will be, it will be joint venture account, joint venture with B and C account. So the heading of his account would be joint venture with B and C account. And he will take into consideration only the expenses on incomes affected by him. Right? And he will send this detail to Y and Z. Similarly, Y and Z will prepare the joint venture with X and other two persons. They will prepare the account of their transactions and they will send it to the other people. So like that, they will come to know the common profits or losses. It would be sounding a bit confusing to you. So leave that. When we do the problems, you will understand. Don't worry about this part. Currently, what you have to know, we will just quickly have a look. You should very well know what is the meaning of a joint venture. That means when two or more than two people are coming together and they are coming together for a particular venture and they are sharing the profits or losses. Then you should be perfect with the definition and what are the features of a joint venture. Coming to the differences, we have looked into the differences between a joint venture and partnership. Also, we have looked into the differences between the joint venture and a consignment, right? And then the methods of maintaining. So you should know what are the three types of methods, and the details of each method you will understand when we are doing the problems. The only thing you have to remember is, remember the names perfectly, as well as understand that whenever joint bank is mentioned, it implies it is the first method. And this is the most important method, right? And then second method is where separate set of books are not maintained. The last one is when memorandum joint venture method is followed. So if you remember these things, then it is sufficient for us to start the problems. Yes.